Alrighty. Ready, Trevor?
It's recording already.
Yeah. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, it's time for a Sunday Q&A. We did take the last episode off, and because it's bi-weekly, or I guess twice a month, you know, there's been a whole month since our last episode, but yes, we have missed you. We've heard you loud and clear, so we're back in Trevor's messy studio, which is starting to get a little bit messy again. But how you been anyway, Trevor?
What was the question? No, pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Alright, and I should say too, look, if you want professional videos and good sound quality and a camera that's not going in and out of focus and without grandpa falling asleep, this is not the video for you. So we're going to be jumping in, we're going to be answering your questions. We've got a whole bunch to get through, all about things about YouTube, UAVfutures, FPV, drone racing related, and we're going to kick it off today, and I'm going to give a massive shout out to HGLRC, and I'm going to put a picture on the screen because someone today, it's been a little while since we've had a prize, but well done to those people who did put some questions in, so make sure you stick your questions down below because today we've got a bit of a doozy. We're giving away a bind and fly Batman, and that's like one of their new bind and flies that's coming out, and you're going to see some videos from me. You've got a frame review as well, can't I, Trevor?
Frame review and the stack review.
Yep.
So look out for it, guys. It's going to be pretty good.
It's a pretty cool little piece of kit. So I've got a review coming up on my channel, but someone out there today, well, someone in my phone today, based on one of their questions, they're going to be winning those. I've actually got one of the frames right here. So Trevor, this is what you're going to be doing your review on, yeah. But we do have a bind and fly to give out, and I really think it's going to be rivaling the Hawk 5 because it looks like a pretty cool little thing. So I'll put their link down below. Definitely go check it out. You know, leave some comments, and a big shout out to them for sort of providing that prize for this week's Q&A. Now, can I just sit that there? Not on the keyboard, okay. Maybe right there. And after this too, Trevor and I, we're going to rip around the track, and sort of, it's been a while since we've flown around the pit, so it might include some of that DVR on the end of this video as well, because we've got the same drones. It's time to have a little bit of a race. And you've had a lot of practice as well. So, alright. Our first question is from AudioGek, and I like this question, so if you have a question, make sure you put it down in the comments down below so we can go through and answer it. But this one from AudioGek, it says, here's a sneaky question: do you share your YouTube revenue with Trev and Cal for their work, or do they get a quad once in a while? Trevor, do you want to answer that? How much?
You can answer that.
No, Trevor doesn't get any of my ad revenue. I guess that's my income. That's how I support my family. But I guess, do you feel like you're compensated in some other ways?
No, he looks after students.
Yeah, I definitely think he's got a really beneficial relationship, and I'm really grateful for everything Trevor and also Cal does for me. And definitely there's been a lot of times when I've been able to help them out with gear and those other sorts of things. So definitely, I couldn't do UAVfutures without you. And what are you doing?
Just the other day, you give us a plug.
Oh, get out! I will give you a plug, actually. If you want to go join Trevor's channel, a little link should pop up there somewhere above his head. Trevor's pumping out videos as well, so definitely go and subscribe to Trevor's channel. If you're new to FPV, or maybe just a really old codger like Trevor himself, you might have some things in common. So definitely go check out his stuff as well. Alright, so let's move on. This one is a bit more drone racing related. Q&A. I run a 3-inch quad, and this is from ERD Epoch. It has a whip antenna on the VTX. What antenna should I be using with the whip antenna on the goggle end? I can't seem to find the answer to this. So the guy's flying around. It might be like something with a little, like a little dipole antenna on the back of the drone. What antenna should he be using on his goggles?
Oh, any omnidirectional I want to do.
Yep.
One of those, what do they call those bloody things?
You're going to say pagoda.
No, the other one.
A patch?
The patch. A patch antenna will do the job as well.
Yeah, that's if you've got diversity. So really, it's okay to use a dipole on your drone, and you are going to get some parts where, based on its orientation in relation to your receiving antenna on your goggles, it's going to be better or worse. But to sort of try to negate that and compensate for that, you should always have an omnidirectional on your goggle antenna, because the way that that's set up, its radiation patterns or its RF patterns, it's going to be able to receive the signal from multiple different angles. So that's really the best bet. And if you want to sort of double down, you've got a diversity thing, use a patch. So if you're, you know, regardless of what antennas you're running on your drones, unless you're doing long range, use a pagoda antenna or omnidirectional antenna, and also a patch. Anyway, if you can.
Yeah.
For a long time though, before diversity, we just used a circular polarized omnidirectional antenna. I know I did anyway.
Yeah, they work fine, but yeah, there's better stuff out there.
Yeah.
So.
This one's from Glenby2U. Question: Have your batteries started to die? Wint seems to be taking some of the older batteries and pushing them into the too lame bucket. So have your older batteries started to dry? Do you think it's Winter wrecking his batteries, or what do you think's going on? A combination of things? Or?
Well, no, he's probably not looked after them.
What do you mean by that? So what might he be doing? What might you have to be doing?
Well, I've still got batteries that are 18 months old that are still great. I mean, they're still working quite well. So when I get home, I discharge them if they haven't been discharged already, or I put them into balance storage mode. So, not balance mode, storage mode that is.
Yep.
And pack them away. So if you don't look after your batteries, they're not going to look after you. So, or you've got crap batteries either way.
And what do you think about the cold?
Yeah, well,
do you think that's doing anything to his batteries?
Well, they do warn you not to store them in cold places anyway. So, you know, keep them at room temperature, and they'll be fine.
All right, I'm going to say for me, I think that your batteries might, just because they're older, they might have gone through more use and more abuse. And if you're over discharging them, if you're drawing a ton of amps and you're really, I guess, abusing your batteries in the way you shouldn't, they're going to start to die more. When it comes to the cold weather, I guess I feel differently about storing them. I don't mind storing them in some cold temperatures, but I definitely think that if you're flying in cold temperatures, that's when you're going to get a drastically reduced performance. So if they're cold when you go to take it off, the internal resistance is a lot more, I should say. That makes the battery work a lot harder, and you're going to find you're going to get less capacity, and it's just not going to perform nearly as well as the optimal, I guess, degrees. I think it's 27 degrees. I could be wrong, but that's like the optimal temperature for our LiPo packs. So if you've got them, a good little tip for me, I know I sit mine in my car for a little bit with the heater on, just while I'm driving somewhere. That sort of warms it up just a little to give it that extra little bit, especially in winter. But yeah, I think I'm asking for some Apple ID. Go away. But yeah, anyway, that's my advice on some sort of battery temperatures. This one's from Ian McPherson. I'm getting into drone racing and will be attempting to build my first drone using a Frog light frame, but my question is, do I use separate ESCs or the one that comes with the main flight controller board? I'll be running Racer Star 2306 motors. Thanks, Sparky.
Well, which either one, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, the Frog, that's they're pretty small arms on them, aren't they?
I can't remember. We've done it. I've done a Frog, but I don't know about the Frog Lite.
Look, the ESCs are the ones. The stack is a lot better. I prefer them now. Much
Why?
easier.
Why do you prefer a 4-in-1?
Quicker build.
Yep.
Neater too.
Do you worry about it blowing up or burning out, or any of those sorts of things?
No. I mean, the amount of ESCs we've blown up in the stages that we've been doing have been very, very minuscule.
Yeah, I don't think I've done one this year. Yeah. I don't know. No. It's very hard to think about. For me, I would say just use whatever you want to. If you've got a really limited stack space, well then it might make sense putting it on the arms. You are going to get a benefit on the arms in terms of cooling from airflow. They're also more vulnerable to prop strikes. You do save a little bit of weight using a 4-in-1, and it's a simpler build, but you've also run the risk. If you do burn it out, which I don't think is going to happen, then you've got to replace that. And my advice would be, get whatever is more important to you. So if you want to save time and an easier build, get a 4-in-1. And the only other way I'd go to, if you want better performance, or maybe better cooling on a really heavy rig, maybe put them on the arms, or get whatever's cheaper. If you find a great discount on individual arms, individual ESCs, because people aren't making them anymore or something, jump on it. If you can get some for $5 or something, it might be worth it. But most of the time, I'm just going to build with a 4-in-1.
Reminds me.
What are you doing? What's this?
How you like that, guys?
I'm grumpy. Don't make it worse. Who got you that shirt?
I don't know. I found it.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh. Someone left it at the front doorstep. So thanks whoever that was.
Did you wear that specially for today?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I was like, what are you doing? Taking your jacket off? That's not till later.
Send me a t-shirt, guys.
Alright, Snow White. Yeah. Q&A. I'm going to say too, if you're on Discord or you're watching this, this is a massive shout out to anybody on Discord. We have such a cool community. You're on there every single night. The link is going to be down below. I'm going to put this poll up there too. I'm telling you straight away, go and join it. It's one of the best places on the net for just talking about all things drone related and building our community.
Are we going to have a giveaway on there soon?
Soon. We will be soon. I think
it's going to be a sneaky one, so be ready for it.
I think we're about 6,400 members possibly, but go and join that Discord. I know today I jumped on there, I was talking to, there's like Patreon channels, there's like a whole bunch of different help channels, and it's a really cool place where people from all walks of life are on there. So if you're thinking, I'm not too sure about like an online community, what's it like, I don't know who to talk about drone racing, that is such a cool place for people to get together, meet up, and just just share our passion, and you're going to have a great time on there. So go and, I'm telling you right now, if you haven't signed up, take 2 minutes out of your day, jump into Discord, you're going to have an awesome time. Whether you jump in the voice chat or whether it's the text channels, you're going to have an awesome time talking about it.
Yeah, and you can pop into Trev's Persia or Blink One and you can say what you like.
Alright, so that's true. Trevor's on there most nights in his adults only line, and definitely gets a little bit loose in there as well. This one's from Plain Crazy FPV. Q&A. Hey guys, love the channel, and like many others, your channel was a catalyst for me and my family getting into FPV. I'm going to jump in right there and say that really means a lot to me, that not only, you know, that this channel got you flying, but not only you, but also your family, because I feel like it is a really good family hobby.
So how do you feel like making everybody go on the poverty line just to fly drones?
It is a bit of addiction, isn't it? You know, always just getting more things. For a while, I stopped looking at my PayPal balance, and I'd be like, oh, it's just a couple of thousand, and just sort of put it to the side, and I hate to tally it up and see how much I've actually spent. But yeah, I'm so happy that I was able to get you we were able to get this person into FPV, and even better, to get in there with your family. That's something really special, and I hope to do that one day when my daughter's a little bit older, to take her out and go flying. But on with your question. With everyone wanting more flight time and power, no one seems to run an 1800 milliamp hour battery. Now, why is this? Do you want me to answer this, or do you want to go?
Well, it's pretty easy. They're just too heavy.
Yeah. Does a bigger battery offer any extra benefits?
Not really, because the extra weight negates what you get out of it. So you're going to have more weight, maybe a little bit more speed, but that's not much flight time. So
yeah, it's really for our 5-inch racing quads, which is probably the predominant sort of drone that's in our hobby, the 5-incher. It's just too heavy. So most people like a 1300 pack. The biggest end of that is probably a 1500 size pack. And the reason I like those is because, look, with a bigger capacity, you can discharge more, you can suck out more amps for those really hungry motors, but it does come at a cost of extra weight. So if an 1800 is just too big, you might get a little bit extra flight time, so it's going to feel so much sloppier. It's so much extra weight to be putting on your craft that it's not going to perform nearly as well.
So if you need to go up in battery size, you need to go up in the S rating. So, you know, from a 4S to a 5S or 6S, then you'll feel the benefit. But
yeah, and you also need to be dropping the capacity as you do that. So, exactly, like, you know, if you've got a 6S battery, you're going down to about a 1000 milliamp, I think, is kind of where you're at. I was looking for some of those today. I've got a nice new quad that I want to test out on some 6S and really put it through its paces. But anyway. Hey guys, this one's from DutchDog541. Hey guys, what I want to know is, as a new pilot, how can I tell if you need to tune your PIDs? What should my quad be doing or not doing on a new build? I try to tune my rates so it's not so touchy on the sticks, but I have a drift on it hovering that I can't control. Love your Q&A. You guys are doing awesome. Thanks. So big shout out to Dutch Dog. Do you want to tackle this one, or you want me to attempt it? All right, bit of PID tuning. This is like such a topic that comes up again and again. People want to know PIDs, and they think if your quad is not flying correctly, I feel like this is a little bit of a misconception that's out there. Oh, my quad's not flying properly, it must be the PIDs. But often there's a lot of different things coming into play, whether it be components, whether it be how your radio's set up, it might be your rate. So everything sort of goes together, it goes hand in hand. But for me, Trevor's just getting bored playing with this torch. For me, I'm really trying to help Dutch Dog here. Stop this, Trevor. When would I... Give me that torch. When would I get onto PIDs? Would be... But when would I jump on and start looking at my PIDs? If I'm having some oscillations that are really aggressive, or...
sort of like this.
But if I was having, when would I jump in and look at PIDs? I'd say if I was having some oscillations, that's the only time that I'm going to be jumping on, or if it's feeling really sloppy on the sticks. As far as, and that is different to your rates, but you know, when you move the stick, if it takes ages to actually move, and then when you let go, it doesn't sort of hold its position, or if it's just vibrating all over the place and you put clean props on there, that's when I'd start messing with it, and I'd really lower those numbers right down, and then slowly increase them till the problem starts to show again, and then sort of find that sweet balance. But hopefully, I find most of the time you don't really need to do that anymore. I know so many people focus on it, but I think most default quads fly really, really well straight out of the box. What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright.
I do agree with that. I mean, it is a hard one.
And he did say he tried to tune his rates so it's not so touchy on the sticks. Well, that's a really easy part. You know, your rates is completely separate to your PIDs. PIDs is how it feels, is how the flight controller is handling and checking its errors and all those sorts of things. things, and the rate to how it actually feels on the stick. So when you move it with your expo curves, at how fast it actually rotates and moves on a certain axis. That's what your rates is all about. They're completely independent. Don't tune your PIDs thinking it's going to affect your rates or anything like that. So anyway, but I have a drift on hovering that I can't control, and that's the third part of that question. That's when you can use some trim on your throttles, trim on your radio. So when you tone up, I can't speak properly. When you turn on the Betaflight app and you look at the receiver tab and you want to see what your drone's doing, try and center everything to about the 1500 mark. And if you don't have those center points, I'm talking with the Tyrannus because that's what I know. You use the little trims on your radio, those little switches that. I'm going to get this old radio here. Does this even have it? So this was, Trevor has some hubs and he was fixing up for some mate at work that dropped it off. But these little buttons here, so if it's drifting to the right, well, you want to press the trim on the left a little, on the left and those sorts of things. So that's what those trim buttons are for. Which you don't always know that when you're a new pilot, I must say.
That's right.
Yeah. Which is exactly what these Q&As are for. That's the McDonald's thing. What am I saying to myself? Future FPV. Well, you have an awesome name, but let's get on. Sunday Q&A. Will you review something like Steele's frames, Stinger Swarm's frames, Schizo's frames, some of the FPV pilots' frames, rather than all the businesses' frames? Thanks. Keep up the good work. And that's sort of twofold. A lot of those pilots have frames that are just working with those businesses to make those sorts of things.
They are businesses.
Yeah, they are businesses. But in terms of trying to review some of those frames, I have, sort of reached out in the past. I did sort of send an email to Schizo, but I didn't really get a response for that one. But I did think it looked really cool, especially when I put some decals on there. And then I know when it was Oh My God's frame, when the remix, when that got cloned, I wanted to do an original, sort of have a look at the original build and all that sort of stuff. I did reach out to Rotor Riot, but I don't think they were too keen to get on with that review.
One frame.
You want to do that too,
I'd really
don't
love to do the review on the remix. It's one of the few frames out there that's really impressed me.
Yeah, I thought Tommy did a great job designing that. I really wanted to get that on the show. I thought that looked really cool. But anyway, moving on, I definitely think there's so many cool frames out there, and it's not that I don't want to get those things on, it just hasn't turned out that way. I've definitely tried to get some on. This one is from Frank Barjas. I know that's just how it says. It sounds bad, but that's his name, and I know we've answered a lot of his questions in the past. So congratulations, Frank, for always putting your thing down and getting read out. This must be like the third or fourth time, I don't know. I always see a little fallout face there. How many trips from the car to your flying spot do you make with all your gear? Sometimes it's quite the workout for me. Not that I couldn't use the exercise, but I really want to get flying. Any secrets or tips to hauling all that gear around?
Yeah, we've got a little trolley now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but it still takes us, sometimes 2 trips, sometimes 1.
Yeah, and they're good. The beauty is, though, because we've got a lot of people, so, well, at least 3 of us, you, Cal, and myself, we loaded it. We've got a little trolley. Shout out to Crash Test Cal, who I know is at work right now, but he got me a little trolley for my birthday, so thank you so much. It's a little collapsible one. I feel like an old lady coming back from the shopping.
You are an old lady.
We put all, you wish, Trevor. Ooh, we put all our stuff in there and sort of cart that, and then we do have our backpack. So I know I take my real ACC bag. I put that on the front, and sometimes back before we used to put on the big green bags on our back. And then I take a big bag that makes me look like Santa Claus, and I just actually throw everything else in there. It's about this big. It's a big red Santa sack, and that's pretty much where all my quads sort of are. So yeah, we can probably do it in 1 trip. And if it's a long way, I think we probably cut down and do it in 2 because it just rips your arms off after a while. Yeah. Definitely get a little trolley if that's sort of something you're into. I would like to get a little motorized esky as well. I think that you could put some stuff in and sort of zip around on, and that'd be.
We'd never see you then.
We have a pretty cool, I don't know if you guys saw it on that plane video we did, and I'll link it down below, but it was a really cool scooter. I can't remember what it's called, but that's like our drone recovery vehicle. That's it's such a luxury, but when Cal brings that thing along, it is unreal. So if you crash your drone a long way away, this thing can just rip over the grass, over the fields. You can go pick your drone up in about...
It's Zomi, isn't it?
Yeah, Zomi. I don't know how to... Zomi, yeah, but what's the last part? I don't know. Zomi 365 scooter. So that'll be down below. But that is... I think it's about $500, but that's an unreal... We call it the drone recovery vehicle because it is... That way, if you crash and you're a long way away and you've got that thing, it doesn't seem like such a bad...
Yeah, they do about 15 k's an hour or something.
Yeah, so I reckon even... Well, maybe on the grass, yeah.
And more if you hack them.
Yeah. You did that, didn't you? Alright. Robbie, Mutton, Stu, GT, and the never-present CTC. We'll give him a break because he is good at his job. He might not be on the Q&As all the time, but he does definitely smash it when it comes to the speed gun.
How many Q&As has Cal been on?
I think just one. One or two. Maybe two. Let us know. How many Q&As has Cal been on? How much have you seen the channel? We'll put a poll up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, or I don't know, maybe even a 0. So I'm sure we'll see if we can get Cal to put a comment and we'll pin it somewhere, you know, towards somewhere in the comments anyway.
Is Cal working?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cal. Yeah.
Stu, GT, and the never-present CTC. NPCTC, that's what we'll call him.
So Cal's not here?
No.
Oh.
When are we going to see the Fat Shark HDO review? And look, and also the Free Sky X-Lite review. Love all your thoughts on this hobby changing gear. Cheers. And that stuff is really cool. I'm really excited to show you that stuff. I need my cup of tea. I'm smashing this down, mate. I'll probably edit that out. No, I won't. I'll probably leave that in. But that was a good cuppa, man. As far as that gear goes, I've lost my train of thought. Yes, you will be seeing it. I don't know, I just recently went back and looked at the Onway V1s, and UAVfutures is all about providing people, you know, I like to do things that are new as well, but I also like to take my time and learn a little bit about it and, you know, give people that knowledge of what the product is like for a little bit of a time. So look, I do have a pair of HDOs. I have been flying with them for a while, but I want to sort of get the most out of them so I can share that with you. And this, you know, that's a lot of times it does frustrate me sometimes. Like I saw some review where someone reviewed a goggle before they went to work, and that, I don't know if that's the right way to go about something, just to get your video at first. That kind of, I don't feel like it's doing justice to the audience, because you might find some parts you like and miss some other parts, or vice versa. I like to do my reviews fairly thoroughly, and yeah.
So you didn't do yours going to work, you did yours at work.
I did do mine at work. That is my job. But yeah, you will be seeing those reviews. It's just I like to take my time with the product. I could put them out tomorrow, but I'm just taking my time and learning as much as I can and getting as much hands-on with those products as I can, so I can give you the best information possible, because that's what it's about. And especially to my Patreon supporters and stuff too, like, I want you to have the best information to make the best informed decisions, especially if you're going to be buying something. Alright, moving on. This one's from Blitz, and this I got a big shout out to Blitz FPV, because he's always hassled me, especially on Facebook and stuff, to come up to an Eastside event. We do need to get up there, Trevor. Just go and meet some people, because I know this guy's a big fan. And no, I would not come to the UAVfutures event because we haven't gone up to their Eastside Racing Club. So if we can't drive up there, he's not going to come down here for our thing. So we're going to have to get up there, visit Eastside before we do that. I really do want to get up there. And I know Granger and Hamish have been going up there and flying around as well. So yes, we do need to go and visit Eastside. Alrighty.
Hey, I've got one.
Hang on. Oh, yep. Alright, Trevor reckons Trevor's interrupting. He's got some question. He's got something written on a piece of paper.
One of the guys on Discord.
Okay, do you know who it's from?
It just happened to be, you're not going to guess who it's from. It's from Stu AV.
Oh yes, okay, I have seen him on there. And actually, shout out to him on Discord. Some people were pinging him saying, Stu AV, what's this? Or they were asking him questions, and it was some things about the channel. He had to be like, that's not me, mate. I'm not UAVfutures. So this is Stu AV, who is not me. Anyway, what's his question?
He wants to know what you do when you make a phone call.
What do you mean?
How can you talk holding the phone when it's going like this?
That's easy. I have it right here, mate. The solution. You use these, mate. You put these in.
Stewie uses headphones.
I put the headphones in. I can't, you know, I didn't use these for so long, but they are the best. That's how I do the dishes.
Is that because you couldn't hear anybody?
Yeah, pretty much. But I just would walk around aimlessly. Now I at least walk around aimlessly, moving my arms around, and I feel like I can talk so much more. So that is how I take a phone call. If you ring me, I'll be like, that'll be the first thing I'll say. Hang on. I've just got to plug in my headphones. You must have heard that a lot. Hear some fumbling around, and then bang, I'm ready to go.
There you go. We just answered another question.
I was speaking to Cal today. I went for a skate after I finished all my filming, and I put the headset in, and I gave him a buzz while I was skating. That was pretty cool. Anyway, this one is from the Nimbian. Hello, Stu, Trev, and Cal. And I put your love down for Cal below in the comments too, because I know he does read all these, especially when he's stuck on those long shifts at work. Hello, Stu, Trev, and Cal. Stu, in regards to the previous video, I'm also a teacher and I have trouble remembering all the names. Here's my questions. Where do you see the hobby going in the next 20 years? And what do you hope gets improved or changes? 20 years is such a long time. You mean like 80, Trevor? More.
Yeah, I'll be old.
You will be. You'll be real old.
We'll still be flying drones, but we'll be sitting in them.
Yeah. I actually don't even know. I'll be 50 something when that happens. Look at that for some maths. But 20 years, what I hope improves. I don't know, batteries, that'd be cool. What do I think will need to improve? The regulations, and I just hope it's part of everyday fun. Maybe like video games used to be when it first started. They're like, oh, what are these funny little things people playing with in their basements?
Yeah, there'll be no props then. They'll be all just...
What will they be?
I don't know. Whatever comes out.
I don't know. But hopefully people are still doing something FPV though, because it is such a good hobby to meet people, get outdoors. And we were just talking about this the other day when, I know I keep talking about Cal a fair bit today. I must be missing him because he's not here. But
is Cal going to watch this, or does he listen to it on...
He listened to it on a podcast.
Hey, Cal then. Here you go. That's for you. You can't see that.
But there will be a podcast link down below as well. So I did forget to do it last time. I'll promise I will do it this time. So that should be out as well. If you're watching this, there'll also be a podcast link.
Cal's going to have to watch all that video just to see
just to find that part. I didn't do anything. But what was I even talking about? Oh, we're talking... Right, so anyway, went for a skate yesterday with Granger, Tom, you went... Well, a whole bunch of people went for a skate in Melbourne. I was doing some filming. It was really, really cool. But when I was having a cup of coffee at Cal's place, it was kind of cool how there was Granger, then there was me, and then there's Cal, then there's you. There is like a whole generation thing spanning, with like 15 years between each of us, but this hobby brings us together, and there's nothing else like that I know.
But that wasn't the question.
I know, but I'm going off on this tangent here. But that's what I love about FPV, is those relationships of how it really does bring people together, no matter where they're from or how old they are. There's nothing that I know that can make great friendships like this and just, I don't know, build awesome relationships. So there you go. What was this actually? Oh, where will the hobby be in 20 years? I don't know. I'll still be rambling. That's where we'll be in 20 years.
Yeah, you'll still be rambling,
Yeah, I'll just have a huge beard. This one's from Stupo Mectomode. I swear that's what it's like. Stewie, I do need your advice and help. I bought a Tyrannus X9D, and when I go through the menu and try and bind a receiver, it does not make the little chirping noise to bind. I did update the firmware and update the SD card and an aerial as well, but I'm having no luck. Any suggestions or advice? It's not making the little binding noise. It's not your SD card, because I know it will make that SD card bind. It will make that binding noise without your SD card in there even.
Does it make any noise at all?
Does it? Yeah. Does it make any noise?
We really need more information.
Maybe your speaker could be broken.
Yeah. Get on Discord. We'll talk.
Yeah, there you go. There's a great way. Jump on Discord. We can hear it. We can find out what it's doing. So that's my advice to you and anybody else. I do want to add some extra bits though. Like maybe you could take the internal battery out and put that in. See if it would change it. Have a look. Are you using an internal? Do you have it set up to like internal module mode or external module mode? Because you want it to be on internal module. And if you're using something like an S-Bus, a common receiver, D16 or something. So, I don't know, we really do need more information. So, yeah. Oh, look at this. On the bottom of that question, we've got, hey Stu GT, here's a question for Stu. How do you talk with your phone? Do you end up dropping or throwing the phone a lot? Stu AV. So there you go, mate.
It did put it in.
Already answered.
Well, he's not going to answer you now.
Yeah. This one is from, well there, I took a screenshot of the next one as well. UAVfutures event. This isn't a question. This is from Will Blitz FPV. UAVfutures event. I'm in. We met up back in Feb, but didn't get a chance to fly together. Would be fun, even with Grumpy Trev. So someone's going to come to the event even if you do turn up.
Even if I come up.
Yeah. All right. So definitely that was where we're talking about having a UAVfutures.
So who have I got to abuse when you show up?
That's Willbits FPV.
Willbits, right.
So you got any words for Willbits?
Yeah, Willbit. Willbit sounds like drill bit.
Maybe.
Yeah, Willbit.
Good one.
Dilbit.
Alright, JW Q&A. How do you manage to get the quad back after a crash from the field when other pilots are flying around? Do they have to stop or what? I'm sorry for my bad English. Like your videos very much. Keep it up. That English is better than Trevor's or myself, so well done on the English front.
What's wrong with that English?
Yeah, nothing. That's from Jan W. If someone crashes on the field, what's the procedure? Trev?
Let everyone know where you're going to go out and get it. Unless they're really going nuts like Stu, don't get in front of his because you don't care.
That's not true. I think just communicate with the people around you. If you're at a race event, well, it depends who you're with. I wouldn't go out. I'll stop, guys. You don't need to stop and go in here. That's not fair to those pilots. I mean, if you crash, you've just got to wait till they're finished flying. But with us, because there's only a limited number of pilots, I guess, you know, most of the time there's just the three of us, that we can communicate enough and say, hey, I'm going near this part, and the person can safely watch those people going around the flags, and we'll tell them, oh, I'm over near the over and under, don't go over there, or those sorts of things. And the only time that'll change is if I'm doing something for a review and it might be some cool footage, or I've done something that I want to do or test. I'm like, hang on, just give me 30 seconds to finish this pack, and we just communicate with those people around you. So find out what's happening around you, talk to the people you're flying with, and if you, I wouldn't go out and get it if it was unsafe, and I wouldn't expect people to stop their flights if I was at a race event or anything like that either. Anything to add?
No, well, that's true. We don't always go and get them straight away.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Remember when Perry almost killed me one time? And make sure they respond, because this is on we call it the river end, and I don't, what's that, you know, near the riverside, and I'd crashed in there. I said, oh, Pez, Tupac Perry, that is, I'm going to go get my drone. And Perry said, yeah, righto, man. And then I went over to get it. He knew where he was. He responded, told me, he said, all right, I'll stay away from that. And then he just went, his mind just slipped into doing the same circuit. And I turned around, and I swear, I almost did swear, I poop you not, this drone was coming full throttle down the little river corridor side, and I just went, like this, and it just went smash into the tree just above me at full speed. That was a little bit scary. So yeah, anyway.
When you think you wouldn't even ask school to hit you.
This one is from Jimuel Tabaroda. G'day Stu, here's a question for the Q&A. Have you ever tried using KISS firmware, KISS flight controller? There have been many complaints in the past about its reliability, but most of the top freestyle pilots use it. What is your opinion about that?
Who cares?
Have you tried KISS?
Yeah, we've thrown a couple of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know I've flown Tom's around a little bit. Do you think it performed any different?
Nah.
All right, and what about why are some top freestyle pilots using it? I know
probably because they're backed by them.
Yeah, I don't feel like KISS offers any real notable advantages, and it's been probably 6 months since I've flown my last KISS rig. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think people use it because they like it and they've stuck with it. I guess the same way that I like using Betaflight, because I'm familiar with it. I know how it works. As far as why do those top pilots use it in the first place, I would say there's been some. This is just a guess too, I don't actually know, but I am sure that there would be some sponsorships between those there would be some very friendly relationships between those companies where there's some sort of system. Oh, what's beeping over there?
Battery must be ready.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till that stops. Oh, there we go. But yeah, there would be some relationship, whether they're backed by them, whether they're paid by them. That's why they use KISS. That's why there's such a thing as sponsorships. Not only do they get the gear, but in some situations, I am almost 100% sure they will be getting paid to fly that product and say that product's good. So that's probably why a lot of pilots use the gear they do. And it's not just KISS stuff. This happens with all over the hobby. You really have to check where your gear is coming from and who's using that gear and why are they using that gear. Is it just because it's the best, or are they getting sort of paid to do that? But that's one cool thing about a review channel. We don't have to worry about that. We get to test gear from all over the world, So I think, and I do think most of the reviewers do a really good job with being up front with the audience and letting them know how the product goes as well.
Most.
All right. Let's move on to for Q&A. This one's from One Bro 4 for Q&A. What would you like to see in the future flight controllers? Anything special you'd like to see in a future flight controller?
I really can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I reckon they're pretty good now. I mean, we've always wanted OSD, and then all of a sudden we had OSD.
Yeah, probably. I would really like just some receivers built in. So I know that came out from the FreeSky one, but if they could cram that in there, then that's one less thing that I need to put in there.
That'd be cool too.
I don't want my ESCs in there so much, and I do like my VTX separate, but I'm happy for something like a receiver to be built in.
Yeah, receiver would be nice. Yeah, I don't like VTXs in them either.
Yeah. Rightio, so this one's from Mr. Mandalay. G'day guys, greetings from Indianapolis, USA. I think that's where Nurk is from, the Indy, they call them something, the
Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's where Nurk FPV's from, so I wonder if this guy flies with, and that's where I'd be hitting him up all the time if I was over there. Love the channel, Stu, and all you do for us as a community. It is my pleasure, good sir. Gladly supporting you via Patreon. Thank you so much. I'm new to drones and I have a toy grade Bug 3 to practice with, and I've flown RC for years for planes and helis. I think I'll enjoy FPV based on everything I've seen here on your channel. But 2 questions: buy or build my first drone, and he can handle some soldering, and should he go for a 3 inch or a 5 inch as a first drone? Does it matter?
No.
Okay. And what about buy or build?
Well, you can use a soldering iron, and since you've been RC all this time, I'd build your first one.
Yep. What benefits do you think that gives us?
You just learn what it's all about. It's such a learning curve to build your first one yourself, especially if you've got soldering skills up front. It makes it so much easier. If you haven't got the soldering skills, definitely don't build one. Buy the first one and fly. But like, if you've got the skills, build it, because the learning curve there is just fantastic. You just got to do it all, and it's a great feeling to stick the thing together, bind it up, and fly it. And when it works, it's great.
I think you summed that up very well. The only part I would disagree with is if you don't have the soldering skills, it's not terribly hard. You still can get through. I didn't have any soldering skills when I started, and you can still make a decent drone, I think. If, just work on those soldering skills a little bit.
Yeah, but some guys want to get in the air straight away.
Oh,
so
yeah.
build your soldering skills up.
But
I'm not saying don't build one,
okay.
But get in the air first, and once you get that first quad in the air, you'll want to build one, I can guarantee it. And then you can practice on your soldering skills.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say it doesn't really matter either way for a first drone, whether you build one or buy one. There are definitely massive advantages to building one in terms of, like, you are going to learn so much, you're going to know how to repair it when it fixes, all those sorts of things. In terms of the actual performance of the drone itself, they're about the same, I think. They are so close, unless you get some of the top upper echelon products and the premium stuff. The performance is, things like the Hawk 5, things like the Batman, which I can't wait to show as well. Performance on those things is just off the chain. So you don't need that much for a first drone. So you're not really going to get any advantage in terms of how the drone actually feels in the air. It's all the things that happen off the flying field that are in your house when you're building, you're learning, you're hooking up to Betaflight, you're soldering. That's where you're going to get the most advantage when it comes to building. In terms of 3-inch or 5-inch, I guess it depends on your environment. I would say if you've got a lot of space, a lot of big nice trees and big fields to fly around, 5-inch if you want to carry a GoPro. If you've got a smaller yard, maybe something like a 3-inch is going to be much better suited for you, or a smaller environment to fly around and you don't want to carry a GoPro. But don't think 3-inch means no power, because we had a 3-inch the other day. I'll put that up there or down there somewhere, the X140, and that went 110 miles per hour. So you are going to be covering an awful lot of ground even with the 3-inch. Don't let that size fool you. I feel like we answered that question the best out of anything today. That Mr. Mr. Man Indy just got a fantastic answer, if I don't say so myself. This one is from Wayne's RC Spin. From Tassie to UAVfutures event, if you held one. My question, do you think graphene batteries are worth the extra weight? i.e. quicker to charge and better performance. Thanks in advance. I love watching your channel. I don't miss an episode. So thanks so much for sticking with it. I don't know about quicker to charge, because I charge mine all at about 1C or a little bit over anyway. But what are you about in performance? Do you think graphene offers us something extra?
Well, they're the best batteries I've ever had.
Yeah.
Graphene batteries. So we're flying with the China Hobby ones now, the China Hobby line ones. So can't really judge on those yet, but because we haven't had long enough. But so far so good. But the graphenes, I've had graphenes for over 2 years now, and I wouldn't buy anything else.
Yeah, I think if you can get graphenes, this comes up again and again, but for me, I really like graphenes. I think the extra weight, there is something, it's not great to have that extra weight there, but the battery's not a bad place to have it. And for me, the difference that I find with graphenes, and Hobby King's just released some new, this is not sponsored by Hobby King or anything, this is not sponsored by anything.
Geez, but I'd love to try some out.
Yeah, there you go, Hobby King. But they just released some new Panther graphenes or something. I don't know if you've seen that on their website.
I looked at them.
I do want to test those out. But they're expensive.
They did look nice.
They look stupid expensive, those.
Oh, some of the prices weren't too bad.
It was like $45 Australian for a battery. I don't want to pay that. Yeah. Anyway, graphenes, I find the only performance I find that is different is they will give a lot longer until they sag and drop off. So they will almost deplete themselves, and then they'll fall out of the sky. Where other batteries, you feel the sag a lot sooner, and it's given less and less over time. Whereas this one is just good performance, and then it just dies.
And even when they die, they come back pretty well too. You can test them later on, and they've come back to their service charge.
Yeah. So this one, I actually kind of cut off your name. So if this is your question, if this one wins, this is going to be problematic. But hi guys, so this is from Mystery Person Someone. I'll have to go through and find it if this ends up as the winner, but anyway, This is to you, whoever this is. Hi guys. You always seem to bag box goggles. Are they really bad or ordinary, or is it just your personal opinion? I can understand you have your preferences, but objectively speaking, are box goggles really all that bad? Forget about external size and the look when on your face. Is it the actual image or viewing sensation that's different? Whether you're looking through separate lenses to produce one screen image or looking through a whole bunch of screens, what does it matter? Is it psychological that you know you have a big box protruding on your face versus slim fat sharks? He's been flying by visual line of sight, and he wears glasses that muck around. And then it sort of cuts off. So it's a long question. Box goggles, I'm going to go first. Is that alright? Got a lot to say for this one. There has been one box goggle that I did like, and that was the Viper box goggle. And the reason that I like that one is because it didn't have the issue that most of the other box goggles have when I try to fly with them. So for one, the field of view is completely different, and this is up for debate, and this part is my personal preference, but I find that huge field of view is a little bit distracting. It's like being at the cinema 2 feet away from your face, and you've got to look around to take that information in. When you're hitting gates very fast, making those decisions on that race line, I don't want that. I actually prefer the smaller field of view, and so much so, like the fat sharks are sometimes even too big for me. I like the Onway V1s. That's where my brain and my eyes can take in all that information, process it easily enough without, it just makes my job easier when I'm trying to really smash and put the hammer down. So that's number one. Number two, those box goggles, most of them, not the Vipers. The Vipers I did like. I'll put the link somewhere. It'll be above Trevor's head or down below. But the Viper goggles, they were the only goggle really that I've tried as a box one that I didn't get eye strain on. So I actually feel dizzy when I wear, let's just talk a general box goggle. Let's talk about some of the problems of general box goggles, not the Vipers. I feel dizzy when they're on my face. I get some eye strain, so my eyes hurt after a while. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed, and it's just not a comfortable experience for me. And they feel heavier and press into my head a lot more than something that's a much lighter like my Onways. I don't know. What about you, Trevor? Why do you always bag box goggles? Is it just objective, or do you feel like there is an actual difference when it comes to flying?
Well, most of the box goggles we've seen have been really
Yep.
Especially look, if you're an older person, it's your eyes are older. It's very hard to focus on these things when it's this far from your face.
Yeah, I think, sorry, if you wear glasses or if you've got older eyes, box goggles are even harder. Generally, there might be some exception. Generally, for people to focus on.
The biggest problem I've had with box goggles, they're not comfortable. There's been a few earlier ones, the little ones, I've forgotten what they're called, that weren't too bad, but they're still box goggles.
Yeah.
If you wore glasses or you had a little bit of sight impairment, I suppose, so to speak, they were crap, absolute crap. And as what's your name, Stu? Stu said what were they called? The Vipers.
Vipers, yep.
We tried the Vipers a few weeks ago now.
Yeah, a month ago, 6, I don't know.
And
yeah.
Look, I had seen these things and I thought, oh yeah, here we go again. Now, I couldn't believe how good these things were. They're the only box goggles I've ever put on my head. Now, I can't see for with normal box goggles. These ones were just fantastic. So,
and Cal put glasses on underneath them too.
And Cal could put glasses on as well. These things had a lot going for them. So, they were actually light, they were comfortable, and you could see. Even I could see with them. So, they're not all. These ones were actually good. I know some people give them a bit.
What
of
about
a
all the other ones though that you've sort of tried?
No, I haven't tried any on that was as good as these. These guys have done something right. We actually put goggles on our head that weren't expensive, that actually worked. So, not all box goggles are and look, I don't like them with a passion, but these ones are actually okay. So, there's one set out there that is good for just about any application. So, they were comfortable and you could see and you could put glasses on. So,
yep,
there you go.
But the rest of them generally, because this person's saying generally, you know.
No, look, the rest of them. There is some crap out there, but there is a couple of good ones out there if your eyesight is okay. So you can't put glasses on with most of these.
Yeah.
So, look, if that's all you can afford, try someone else's first if you can. If not, try and buy a set that you can actually focus.
Yeah. Moving on, this one is from, that was a long answer as well, from both of us, from Red Drone Racing. Where can I buy a UAVfutures t-shirt? And I do have some t-shirts coming. I'm going to be calling them some cool little names and some that are specifically just for Patreon, but I'm going to be taking care of my Patreon supporters as well, so big shout out to them. The link will be down below for that, but they've got their t-shirts coming first. I've been talking to the people. I can't wait. I've had the samples. Yeah, you're going to get one too, Trevor. Don't worry. I'll have to get you a special one. But definitely, there are going to be some UAVfutures t-shirts coming. I can see I'm wearing it in the last Q&A that we did. Anyway, that's actually the last question. So massive shout out to everybody who put their questions down below. If you're watching this now, put a question down below, because that's where you can go in the run. Not only do you get, you might get read out and you might get to win something, but you will be winning, and not this one. It's going to be shipped directly from HDLRC, one of their Batman bind and flies, which looks pretty incredible. I'll put a picture on the screen. Go and check it out. Look at that link down below. I mean, I really think it's going to be like a Hawk 5 rival. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to have a review coming up for you guys as well. I know you're going to be reviewing the frame in a little bit as well, in their stack. But what we need to do is find out who the winner's going to actually be. Now, to do that, we've got a special little
we have two
thing somewhere.
Oh, back in a second.
And then Trevor and myself, we're going to go for a fly around in his underground little pit track and do have a bit of fun. He's lost it. All right, we're back. We found it. But let's kick this off. Do you want me to spin it?
You can flick it.
All right.
Because you always cheat, but you can flick it.
Look, let's get it straight. There we go. So it's not weighted differently. But you're this side, Trev. I'm going to be all this side. You ready?
Go.
Okay. You win, Trevor. All right. What do we got?
I won.
Yeah. So now, congratulations to... Who do you want?
Oh, I didn't put a question in, did I?
No, you didn't. So you need to think of one of the questions that you liked, that you enjoyed answering today.
I really like the guy that asked about his soldering skills and stuff. Make or buy his first drone. A really long one.
Mr. Mandy Indy, g'day guys, greeting from Indianapolis, USA. Love the channel, Stu, and all you do for us as a community. 2 questions, build or buy, and 3" or 5".
That's him.
Alright, congratulations to Mr. Mandy Indy. You have won, definitely check the link out down below, but the HDLRC Batman, which I think a lot of people are going to like to see. So I'm going to get your details, look at I'll put a picture on the screen, your YouTube inbox, spam box or something like that. Look at those details, PM me back, I'm going to get your email information, I'll email you. Pass that on to HDLRC, and they're going to be shipping you out one of these, because I think you're going to like it. But for everybody else, drop your comments down below. Go and join Discord, you slackers, because we're trying to push it to 10K members. I think that's going to be amazing. We might have to do something really, really special. It takes about 2 seconds to sign up, and you're going to have an awful lot of fun, an awful time when you talk to Trevor online. I'm sorry about that.
Come and get abused by me, or you're going to abuse me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you need some help.
I'm going to jump in there as well. There's already some people. I can see UAVs in there. I know Fat Tony, shout out who else we've got. Captain Kirk's in there, frequent flyer, so shout out, you guys are actually on there as we're filming this, but you won't know that until Sunday, till the video actually comes out. But for everybody else, all that other stuff, subscribe for more FPV related content, go and join Trevor's channel as well, and as always, happy flying!